Hi stamping friends, this is Sandi MacIver. Today is video number 2 of my Simple Distressed Oxide Blending series, and I'm using Twisted Citron, Peacock Feathers, and Salty Ocean. For the pink card, I used Festive Berries, Picked Raspberry, and Spiced Lemonade. I'm also going to be using the Ranger Mini Blending Tools, and I like to use one for each color. I start by lining up my ink pads in the order I want the ink on my paper. The Distressed Oxide inks have unique properties, making blending super easy. I find a light touch works best for blending. Don't push too hard or push down on it. And it doesn't matter if you add ink in a circular motion, back and forth, up and down. It just absolutely blends beautifully. You want to overlap the blending to eliminate any lines, and so that the ink just transitions gently to the next color. And you'll notice that I am using a tissue to hold it. When the ink is wet, your fingerprints will show up on the ink. So once it's dry, buff it or heat set it. I prefer to heat set, that way I know it's dry, and in this case I'm going to do it for sure because we're going to be heat embossing the image onto the top of this ink, so I want to make sure that it's good and dry. And if you did it in the reverse order, it would be called the embossed resist technique. But I was just fooling around with ink and decided at the last minute to make it into cards. So I'm doing the reverse today. Here I'm going to heat set the entire surface of my card front. I want to make sure that this ink is really good and dry because we're going to be embossing. So I'm using my anti-static pad, my little pouch, and making sure I get rid of all the stickies. I'm stamping my image in Versamark and then covering it with the embossing powder and heat setting it with the heat tool. Embossing powder is plastic, so the heat tool melts it so it sticks onto your card. And again, the anti-static pad, again, I'm going to stamp the image twice this time because I don't want the top and the bottom to look identical. And I also pop those little single flowers in there as well. And covering it again with my embossing powder and heat setting it. Ta-da! And your embossing powder is done. When you see it goes really, really white and it gets shiny, that means that it's finished. You don't want it to turn brown and start to burn. Okay, so then I'm also going to emboss my sentiment. I like to use a larger piece of cardstock and do my embossing, and then I pop it into my cutting tool and I trim it down to the size that I want. I find the larger piece is easier to hold on to. So our artwork is all done. It's time to put this card together. This is a super easy card, so I'm using score tape 1/4 inch, and you just peel off the backing. I'm going to attach it to a black mat that's 1/8 of an inch bigger. There is a PDF file on my blog today that you can download for all the instructions and cutting, etc. for this card. And then I'm going to attach this to a white card base. And it's 4 1/4 by 11 top fold, and I'm using foam tape to do that, as well as to add my sentiment to the front of the card. And then I'm going to embellish it with black pearls. There you go, a beautiful and simple card with a gradiated background. Pick 3 colors or use the ones that I suggested and give this a go. You will absolutely love the results that you get. And you can easily change out the sentiments too to fit your needs. Click on the links under the video for a list of the products that I used today and a link to my blog for the free PDF download. And if you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up and a like. And until next time, toodles!